Hey now everyone, it's Steve Severs for Bionic Buzz. We're at the 2025 San Diego Comic-Con. Now before we get started, please help us out by hitting that subscribe button. Now let's go see who we can talk to.
So speaking of AI, and the end of humanity, basically. No.
But also,
I asked this last time, and we were just even when the producers left, we were talking about it. Like, how does it feel to work on a show that is ahead of its time because ChatGPT wasn't around in 2020, but then now how prevalent AI is, but also how terrifying AI is. How was that, especially in the final season, which really hit home on so many topics?
yeah. I have an answer. So I have the answer.
Oh, okay. Speak for both of us.
No, not at all.
I'll just relax.
Take a load off. Take your shoes off. I saw this TikTok where someone was talking about how they make sure that they go into the settings in ChatGPT and change it to, ChatGPT, please give me answers that are grounded, unbiased, well-researched, thorough, direct, like all of these adjectives and qualifiers, exactly, to hone whatever answers they were going to get. And I had like a chill go down my spine because I was like, I haven't been doing this whole time. I didn't tell them how to talk to me. And there's a scene in Upload where we just watched it at the panel where Ingrid is saying to AI guy, like, don't you have any advice? You're a bartender. And he's like, oh no, you're going to find somebody else. You're going to be fine. And she goes, give it to me straight. Don't just tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. And he shifts gears and he says, you need to be honest with Nathan and see what the chips fall where they may or whatever. I'm butchering the quote.
Yeah.
But she's changing the settings of her ChatGPT bot in real time as if he's, an AI bot, but he's a bartender. And it just made me think, like, we have to take control in as much as we can in the limited time that we have, where we're still kind of maybe at the same pace right now, where it's too much, too far. Maybe it's outpaced us, but we have to think about that kind of framing.
Yeah.
And I don't think we are. I think in that respect, it does feel a little too late. We should have been thinking about framing like a decade ago, probably 20 years ago.
Right.
But if I wasn't in this show, that's what I'm trying to say. If I wasn't in Upload, I don't think I'd be thinking those kinds of thoughts. Because I had a living, breathing embodiment of AI in front of me as a bartender or an elevator operator or what have you. Shoeshine boy.
Right. Yeah. I feel like in a lot of ways the show prepared me for AI. Because, and I think that's similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like gave us that preview without really knowing that it was going to be real. And then so when it happened, I was like, oh yeah. Also, so much stuff has come true from our show. So when stuff happens, I'm like, oh
yeah.
I mean, we've already known this, guys. Like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I also think the thing that makes Upload so unique as a sci-fi show, and as it pertains especially to AI, is that in a lot of sci-fi shows, the technology is perfected, right? Everybody's sleek and smooth and crisp, and the robots are sentient and poised and elegant and kind of hot. And they do everything perfectly, a little too perfectly. I'm thinking of like a Westworld,
Oh yeah.
And in our show, it is so full of mistakes. It's like all he ever does is bumble around. And I think thinking of this technology right now as if it's bumbling around still, kind of keep it in a little bit of an ego check, And go like, this isn't perfect yet. I need to remember this isn't perfect yet. But it's going to feel perfect sometimes.
Right. Well, they even said, like, they have that thing in ChatGPT where they're like, it will make mistakes.
Yes.
Please read what it writes.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Copy and
Scroll.
I've made that mistake a couple times.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's what makes it more relatable to us? Because I feel like the show depicts how we would all be trying to navigate what an Upload scenario would be like, bumbling around going, okay, what do we do here? Like, what is this? This is new. And then I think over time we're surprised to learn things about ourselves and this kind of, so it almost becomes a little too real.
Yeah. I think it makes it more relatable, and I think it makes it funnier, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it a little spookier, too. It's like, dang, if things go wrong, it could go really wrong. And it does go wrong all the time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So Nora and Ingrid have always been on like opposite sides of like a love triangle. How has that relationship shifted for season 4? And what was it like collaborating on those scenes with those characters?
Well, season 3 was a love square.
Yes.
Which I don't know if many shows get to do that.
Yeah.
But we got to have a new shape. That was cool.
More than enough Nathan to go around. You know?
I think, yeah, different Nathans. I think what was really fun is acknowledging that they don't seem like they have a lot in common. But you know what they have in common? They like the same dude.
Yeah.
And that means actually they may have a lot in common.
Yeah.
You know, because recognizing you may like the same dude for different reasons, but that,
Well, I love him.
okay. All right.
I mean, he's hot right now.
He looks good in pictures and wears clothes good. No, but I think that, no, you're right though. I think that actually is a unifier.
It is.
And gives us a common enemy if we need to fight for him too, which is also something that bonds us together. Is we're gonna get the bad guys, we're gonna be stronger together, you know?
Yeah. I think that being like our love for Nathan is what connects us. And then realizing like, oh, we actually are caring people. We just have different ways of going about it, you know, and have different resources, but we're actually on the same team. Yeah.
One question. What are you going to take most away from the series now? And also, too, were you able to cook for the team and really show your cooking skills? Because
Oh my
last time I
gosh.
talked to you, we were talking about it. So.
I didn't
talk
get
and
to.
no
Oh! You know who actually cooked was Robbie. He like made burgers for us.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
barbecue.
I was like,
yeah.
you were there. Yeah, he had a barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get to, but Allegra came to my pop-up in February. That was really awesome.
And it was delicious.
Yeah.
She did an amazing job. Yeah, it was super special.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to take away from it now that it's ending? Is that what you said? Like physically take away?
Well, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Yeah. I will say, without saying too much, there is a prop that I think is barely visible in season 4 at the very end that I have framed in my home now. So there's that.
Like, ooh, what? I didn't even know. I'm like, what?
And then our phone bracelets, I definitely have that. It's actually come in handy for a couple of self-tape auditions when I needed to wear a watch, and I don't own a watch, so I've just been using my upload phone.
That's awesome.
And then you know what we took away? I keep forgetting, like, this is a big takeaway. We got tattoos.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Do you have, is yours visible?
Yeah.
You can do it?
it.
So mine
5 stars.
Yeah. So we all got the same one, 5 stars. Mine is in white ink, so you won't be able to see it because I am whiter than white. But it's right there, and I picked this arm so that I could swipe with my right finger.
Yeah. I was like that.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. So Robbie has one, and Zainab. Kevin didn't want to touch his
Pure
special beautiful body.
We're
Yeah.
going to rag on it for that.
Yes.
You
Maybe
give him,
those two.
yeah.
Yeah.
Question.
First question out the gate.
Yeah, where's your tattoo, my man?
Why are you
Right.
too chicken to get a tattoo?
I know.
Right, exactly.
Killjoy.
Yeah, it was Robbie's gift. It was like a wrap gift.
Yeah.
You guys want to do this?
Yeah. So that was a nice takeaway.
Yeah.
And I have like mugs from Horizon.
Ask them about their collections.
So we're talking about the tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was actually really funny bonding because it was the very last day of filming. Like we wrapped,
We were done.
did all of our speeches, we cried, we hugged, we watched the set start to come apart, and then we went at what was it, like 10 o'clock at night to a tattoo parlor at a random place in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and then stayed up until 1 a.m. or
Yeah.
something like that
Yes.
in the middle of the night. And Zainab had never had a tattoo.
Yeah, it was her
Watching
first
her
tattoo.
face get a foot tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
Peak comedy.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yes.
Ask who had the toughest time.
Mine took an hour.
Yes.
This took an hour because
It was white.
I'm too. I mean, there's no pigment on no pigment, so it was ridiculous. But I think Zainab squirmed the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked offended.
I think she was like, yeah, Robbie and I have the most tattoos among the. I might have the most actually.
Yeah,
but
so.
yeah, but then Robbie's there, so we both had tattoos. So we were just like, oh, okay,
Yeah. She also got it on her foot. So.
yeah,
Yeah, that gets paid.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, you know. You have
I know.
tattoos. There you go.
yeah. Oh, thank you guys. This was awesome.
4 seasons. Comes down to a 4-part finale. How does it feel to wrap up such a sci-fi, mind-bending, but also could be a futuristic place that we end up moving to? How's it feel to wrap that up?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had the privilege of working on a show that got a proper season finale, so that's just like a blessing on its own. It's huge. And then, of course, it's been cool to see the things that we've come up with in the writer's room become true a little faster than we expected, really. But yeah, it's an awesome experience. It's great to get to finish something.
It's a real relief too, because to get an ending to the show and to kind of finish that in a complete way, you feel like it exists as an artistic whole. It's something that was intended, and years from now, people may stumble upon it without knowing that it took 7 years or whatever to get to the ending, and they'll just gulp it down, and it'll feel like, wow, that was an experience.
What has it been like for you guys to witness the fan reaction to this series? Because it's been very positive, and the fan base has continued to grow, I think, with each season as more people discover it. Now, sadly, it's coming to an end, but, I'm sure it's bittersweet, but what has that been like?
Well, we're very fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, all 3 years. We're looking forward to this 4th season because we think it's going to really hit well with everybody. And, these things tend to have a life that expands after you're done. And I think some people wait to make sure that it does have an ending before they commit to a new series. And, hopefully that they'll like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've found fans of the show in the weirdest places. Like I've been overseas, and I tell people I work on, like, oh my god, I love that show. So that's been great. I keep one eye on kind of like the social media stuff about the show, and it's been very cool to see people just really dive in, that really love the show and see what they think is going to happen and things like that. So I mean, the community's been great from the start.
Michael Roth of Nerd Initiative. The concept of like good AI versus bad AI really hit me in this season. You touched on it a little bit. What's it like to be working on a show that's so in the zeitgeist right now and ahead of its time, obviously, as it started in 2020, and then now we're at where we're at, and it's terrifying. But like, what's that experience like to really hit on the current events of the world?
I would say as the real world has caught up, for me at least, there's like this pressure to really get it right now, because it's like, when we wrote season 2, ChatGPT did not exist. By the time we came back for season 3, it was sort of like a couple models doing like really crappy pictures or something like that. And by the time we were writing season 4, it's like people are dating AI people. And so it's just like, there's a little bit of pressure to get what's coming right, because it's going to be here in 6 months.
The idea behind it is that, we can't probably cork AI back into the bottle. And so the most important thing is, what are the values that it has? And to me, there was something very much about, like, isn't this the classic situation throughout human history, is you got to transmit the values of the culture to the next generation, or there'll be like little wild things that will destroy your civilization or whatever. So it's sort of like a very classic thing that you have to do. And I don't know if it's going to get done. And so the big thing, in this season is, like, there's so much sort of for-profit push to get out there as fast as possible. What's going to happen? I don't know in real life.
As you close this chapter, what do you feel you're going to take with you from this experience of 4 seasons?
I just love the making of the show. Because it has many genres, and because it had a really hefty visual effects budget. Like, you could do like a live action cartoon kind of. It was like Looney Tunes at times, and we came up with the weirdest, craziest things, and then executed them in a realistic way. And it's a hard. You don't get an opportunity to do that much.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this has been the bulk of my professional life so far. I joined in season 2, so I was there for the last 3 seasons. But like, you know, I will be taking away, like, I've become a much better writer. This is where I learned to be a producer. This is where I learned about VFX and production and all those things from being on set. So, you know, I'm taking away a ton of skills and a ton of appreciation.
CQ from Pop Culture Warrior. So how do you guys strike the balance between, you got high concept sci-fi and then also really like grounded emotional storytelling? How do you balance that without losing either thread?
Well, I think if you're an actor, which I'm not, so much is about what are my circumstances, like, because you're not the person that's in the thing, even if it's a completely realistic thing. You're not going through the same adventure. So I think we make up these weird circumstances, but then the cast have to really commit to believing in that this is where they are. They're normal human beings that are in this situation. What would I react in a realistic way? So I think kind of policing both ends, allowing yourself to be as creative as possible on the front end, and then as like disciplined on the back end of believing in it.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that it's something you're constantly keeping tabs on. When you write it, you think it's going to play a certain way. When you shoot it, you think it's going to play a certain way. I'm sure they get to post and they're like, "Oh, this is playing a totally different way." So I just imagine, I'm not around for post, but I imagine that it's just a constant, tweak here, tweak there to get the effect that you want.